I'm really excited to tell you about the newest breakfast spot in PB. But this isn't your average breakfast spot. They've got toppings like strawberry cheesecake, Oreo cookie, and my personal favorite, churro. I'm meeting one of my friends here that always seems to have the inside scoop on the newest places in PB. Let's go check out this clucking good time. I don't know who your hookup is, but you always seem to have the in on all new places in PB, including Breakfast Republic. Thank you so much for bringing us here today.
Yeah, you're welcome. My secret, I like to eat good food, so I pay attention to the new spots. And Johan has been opening some of the best breakfast spots in all of San Diego. This is the latest one here in PB.
So Johan, tell us a little bit about your background. I know Breakfast Republic is one of your newer concepts, but you didn't start with this one. You actually started with Fig Tree Cafe?
Yes, and actually here in PB, that was my first restaurant. I opened it in 2008.
Kind of a full circle.
Yeah, so this is restaurant number 10, and you couldn't pick a better location in PB. We're super excited to be here. The response from the community has been phenomenal so far, and we're looking forward to an amazing summer.
So branching off from Fig Tree Cafe to Breakfast Republic, what is the difference? I mean, you obviously had to brand yourself differently than Fig Tree.
Well, I kind of took I don't want to call them mistakes, but a lot of things that we learned with Fig Tree, and as opposed to just changing that entire concept, I decided to create a new one where, for instance, all we do is breakfast. You can't come in and have a club sandwich or a salad or something like that. I also wanted to identify the concept in the name, hence Breakfast Republic. Wanted to also have a pretty hefty emphasis on booze, being that we have 20 beers on draft, we have full liquor license, we have a number of cool cocktails that we offer, and that's been very well received. Before we opened the first location, I had a number of people tell me, you're wasting money putting all these beer draft systems in. Nobody's going to drink beer in the morning, but clearly they were wrong.
If you put it, they will come.
Yeah, exactly.
So Steve, being native to PB, with new places like this coming and being built here, does it really increase the value of homes in PB?
Every little amenity helps, something that people can walk to, ride their bikes to. You saw a bunch of dockless scooters out here earlier this morning when people were lining up for breakfast. So all these little things in walking, biking, short distance to these homes in PB definitely help the area. And Breakfast Republic has become a name that people recognize all over San Diego. So it brings in people from outside of PB to come to the destination, come to the beach, and so it just helps the whole area, because people don't just stay for breakfast, they go to the beach, they go do some shopping on Garnett, and it may turn them on to how great life in PB really is.
Right, and sometimes when there's really long lines, they can just walk right to the beach, which is nice, and then also look around your restaurant. I mean, you've got a retail area, you've got this great wall over here with a saying on it that I went one way with it, but it actually means something else. Give us the background of where Run Cock Run came from.
Sure. So, don't feel bad. Most people's minds are all in the gutter. They all go that direction. But actually, up here, if you can see, what it is, I had an artist kind of outline a hen house door where we have a rooster who's kind of looking out, and then there's a bunch of roosters escaping. So it's really kind of an encouragement to, run, cock, run, for them to run away and escape. That's kind of where it came from.
It's a continuity thing, too. It's a theme in all of your restaurants where you can find these little guys escaping everywhere, which I think is really unique. It gives your visitors something to look for.
Yeah, when I was sort of creating this concept and conceptualizing it, I looked back at a lot of my favorite dining experiences, whether it be breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and it wasn't always, hey, I remember that place because the food was amazing. It was something that stood out. It was kind of like an X factor, right? And I wanted to create an experience. I wanted you to be able to come in here once, twice, 3 times and discover something new. And if you really look around at Breakfast Republic, you can find new things every time, whether it's going to the bathroom, whether it's looking at the little, sticker that holds the silverware together, reading the hidden quote under your coffee cup, and there's a lot of those things. So as you go along, I want you to be able to discover new things and have this not be, I've been there once, I've been there 100 times. There's a lot of things you can discover at Breakfast Republic.
And there are some very unique toppings for your dishes. I noticed there's Oreo cookies, there's a strawberry shortcake. Where do you get those ideas of incorporating really non-breakfast items into breakfast items?
It comes from a variety of different sort of paths. I love to travel. I've been to a number of different countries and cultures, and I love seeing things that are, it could be a dinner item and on the other side of the world, and sort of taking that and putting my sort of own personal breakfast twist on it.
A breakfast
That's
burger.
one. I mean, we have the shrimp and grits is not really known to be a breakfast item, right? So we changed it up a little bit, added the eggs, and this is actually one of our top sellers. Other things are, you know, just if you think back to when you were kids, what are things you remember? Well, eating s'mores, right? And things like that. And we have a s'mores French toast. So a lot of those things just come from, you know, not taking food too serious, not being pretentious about it, and just having fun with it, and saying it's okay to change a classic and put our twist on it. You know, it's not like nobody's gonna come and slap our hand saying that's not how you're supposed to do it. It's okay, let's just have fun, you know.
And I mean, it's a very unique concept. You also have, like you said, beer, but then you also have these shots.
Antioxidant shots, yes.
With no alcohol.
Correct. So let's say you had a humdinger of a Friday night, you're hungover and you come in the next day, this will help you out. In addition to the kombuchas we have, they're great for hangovers.
Well, branching back to PB, you do have a new listing as well, Steve. Is it very walking distance from Breakfast Republic?
Yeah, you could walk there. It's on Oceanfront Walk in Mission Beach, 3607 Oceanfront Walk, number 7, top floor unit. So you get the second floor, the third level, all oceanfront, nice big decks on the third level, really high-end finishes, stainless steel appliances, 4-zone air conditioning system, which is rare at the beach, just totally upgraded from head to toe. So it's a great unit.
And I know you've always emphasized living in PB. A lot of places are walkable. You can get on your bike, and I feel like outdoor living is like a central part of this. And with all those open windows over there, this is a prime location for that beachfront living. So Steve, I know you have the Inn on a lot of places in San Diego, but also events. Are there any upcoming events in PB?
Yeah, one of my favorite annual events is put on by Discover PB. So that's the group in Pacific Beach that promotes the business business district of PB. And they put on this event called Bikes, Boards, and Brews, where they've got a bike contest for custom cruisers. They've got all this local restaurants sampling food, and also local breweries. So that's over there in Mission Bay at Crown Point Park, coming up in a couple weeks. You can go to discoverpb.com and buy tickets to that. It's a really fun event, and it promotes the business interests of PB. So it's cool. It's a fun time.
That's a win-win. Well, thank you so much for taking time with us today, but this food is calling my name, and maybe one of these shots to go?
Yeah, I think so. Cheers, thanks for coming.
Cheers, thank you
Cheers.
so much.
We have a winner! Johnny, you won! You won!
Grandma?
There are certain times in life when you need a neutral third party to call the shots.
I wasn't right. I know. I wasn't right. I wasn't. You hear me?
Keep it fair. Choose Oakwood Escrow.
Sean, I love road trips, so this is by far the best day. This is an incredible car, Sean. First of all, what is it?
Well, this is a 1971 Mercedes 280 SL. It's called the Pagoda because when you have the roof on, it kind of looks like a pagoda. And this one is completely restored. I absolutely love this car. It's one of my favorite cars. I'd rather have it, I think, than even a brand new car.
I agree. I am a classic car girl. And what better way to see Fairbanks Ranch than in this gorgeous Mercedes?
So what I love about Fairbanks is many people that moved here, they're from other parts of the country, so they brought kind of what's traditional in their type of architecture to Fairbanks Ranch. So it makes it really special and eclectic. Like everything's just a little bit different and unique, and all custom designs.
And it's so gorgeous too, and just this beautiful community. It's literally like nothing else.
Well, it's really unique, and it was built in the mid-1980s. There's this grand architecture, and even though it's only 30 years old, a lot of people are really updating the homes here. They're making them a little bit what's happening more in architecture and design now, but keeping the classic elements of this beautiful community, like beautiful lush landscaping. I love driving through here. I mean, look at that view that we have.
Gosh, yes. So Sean, I said I love road trips, but I guess I should have asked where we're going.
Well, we are going to one of my favorite houses in Fairbanks Ranch. It's on Caminito de Monticello, and it is this beautiful kind of East Coast, Hamptonish, classic house. I can't wait to take you there.
Oh my gosh, Sean, look at this house and those cars.
This is how I roll, baby.
Please tell me that these are not for us.
These are for us.
This is so cool. Sean, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Here we have a Bentley convertible, 2008. And then we have, this is a really interesting story here. This is called a Project 7, and they only made 35 of these cars, Jaguar, in 2016. And rumor has it that Taylor Swift ordered this car and then realized there was no roof. Basically, it's kind of like a little tinted roof, and the trunk space is really small, so she didn't take delivery, and so a friend of mine bought it. And so this is a true collector's car item. And I have to say, I have a love affair with Bentleys, but this is like 550 horsepower. It's unbelievable. It'd be hard to choose which one I would take.
Oh my gosh. It definitely has a loud voice.
Oh my God.
So I've seen you in a different classic car every day of this week. What's going on?
Well, I kind of created my own classic car week this week for myself, and I kind of didn't sound
classic car week.
Exactly.
I love it.
But I thought it's so interesting because San Diego has a love affair with like classic cars and convertibles. So we have like the best weather. We have like these really cool curvy roads all through Rancho Santa Fe, and so I thought like these houses really deserve cars like this. And we started with the Mercedes. That's kind of like the classic roadster of the modern era, I would say, because the cars before that were a little bit different. And then we've come into like the Bentley, and then this Project 7. And just like the Mercedes, those classic, the bones are still kind of the same. I mean, they're convertibles, they're roadsters, they're made for really enjoying the road, but they're updated with technology and design, and they look like they're happening now. And that's the same I feel about architecture. So the house we're at today
That's so true.
is a really classic traditional style house, but it's so timeless it never goes out of style. And so I wanted to share with things that you can do to a house to really kind of like the same story as the cars, integrate into a home.
I love that.
So Tawnie, I could talk about these cars all day long, but I have a really special guest for you today. And I feel like I know a lot about design and architecture, but I brought a true expert. So I want you to come inside and meet her.
I'm excited. Let's do this. Sean, that was such an incredible drive. This area is absolutely stunning, and I'm so excited to learn more with your special guest about this beautiful house we have here.
Well, that's why I brought Sue Kelley in. She's a really great designer, and I often bring her in when I have a house that's maybe 20 or 30 years old, and I have these great ideas on what can happen with a house, but I don't know necessarily what's possible in terms of walls coming out, what's like the best thing to do for the house in long term. So Sue had some really great ideas on what's possible here.
Definitely. Well, we were talking a little bit earlier about a kitchen and how a kitchen is the #1 thing people see and why they buy a house a lot. So let's start in there with some changes that you would make.
It's always the wife.
Yes.
She gets her way
Happy
everywhere.
wife, happy life.
Exactly, exactly. Well, in the kitchen, just to get started in that particular area, it looks more traditional based on the age of the house. It's natural. And everything is oak, which is what they used a lot in those days. And so it's oak floor, oak cabinets. There's a lot of little chair rails, a lot of little nixy, natchy items that date the house back to 30 years from now. And rather than just blowing out walls and doing costly things, my first suggestion would be to paint the kitchen out like an all-white kitchen, because it has that beautiful old aged brick, which is also on the outside of the house. So there would be a nice contrast, still keep the character of the house, but kind of update it a little bit.
Nice and bright.
Make it bright, make it more open, and then if people want to spend a little bit more money doing other things, then we can take out the island and enlarge that.
Maybe add a bar area in there,
Nice.
just so it can be a little bit more family oriented.
Entertainment, kind of make it friendly.
Yeah. Just it's that one big, huge, great room effect that you can actually do in this particular house. Not all of them work that well, but this one would work.
You know what's interesting about one of the trends in design that I see that families are wanting again? So for a while, there were really private spaces like a formal living room, formal dining room, and then everyone went to the concept of just that one great room. And I think for a lot of parents and kids, they're spending so much time in one space that they're wanting two different spaces again, but opened up to each other. So like in this, it's a little bit closed off. You can open these spaces up to each other, but still have a space for kids and family, and then a space for adults when they're entertaining, which is nice.
Keep that a little bit of separation with still the privacy. And I know right now we're in the master bedroom, is that correct?
Yes.
And you were taking through...
Huge master bedroom.
Huge! So you said it doesn't have to be that big. Let's bring it down, let's widen this.
Well, it's a huge master bedroom in this particular house and a smaller master bathroom. My suggestion was to make this room a little bit smaller, and it would be very easy because of the way the entry is here. It's so huge that we could close that off, make one closet bigger.
I like big closet, that's fine.
That's my new word. And then the bathroom picks up probably 5 or 6 feet, and then getting rid of some of the traditional things like soffits in the ceilings, raising the ceilings up.
Putting the floating tub in there and big shower opened up.
Right. Glass the shower in, switch the shower in the water closet area, and just completely open up that bathroom to like a Taj Mahal, voila.
Well, Sue, thank you so much for having us and taking us through this gorgeous home.
You're welcome.
And much like the cars with the classic lines.
Well, I got 2 more for you. We can go in the Project 7 Jaguar, which was ordered by Taylor Swift, or the Bentley.
Ooh, tempting.
Which one do you want?
Bentley,
Okay,
all the way.
Here we
Let's go.
As a real estate professional, there are only so many hours of the day, which means efficiency is more than a buzzword. It's a daily necessity. 2 tools from First American Title can help you keep on top of your transactions, either at your desktop or on the go. My First Stamp puts comprehensive property data at your fingertips, where you can review recorded documents, past transactions, or locate comparable sales quickly and easily. Cost First can also ensure you have 24/7 access to closing costs data, allowing you to generate net sheets, calculate fees, update documents, or email, print, or save your reports, along with TRID calculation and consummation date timeframes. Each sale includes a number of stages to manage, each with the possibility to delay a closing or derail it altogether. Let Cost First and My First Stamp keep your transactions on track. Contact your local First American representative to get started today.
Most people know Catrina Russell as the Queen of Ocean Beach, but did you know Catrina actually services the entire county of San Diego? And today, we're getting a little country taste in Rancho, San Diego. Catrina, thank you for bringing us out to Rancho, San Diego today. This house is absolutely fantastic, and I love that you get this country feeling, but you're really not too far from the city. Can you give a little description about the details of this house?
Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite properties I've ever listed, even though it's not in my principal area of expertise as far as location, but it is in Rancho, San Diego, area of El Cajon. It's a ranch style, just over 2,500 square feet on over half acre for $695 with a pool.
With a pool?
Yeah, lot going for it.
Okay, and how long was it on the market, and something like this would it necessarily last long in today's market?
No, it will not last long at all. It's a very popular neighborhood. Obviously, we planned to get together before I put this on the market, and it sold in 4 days. So we're here a couple of days after it has sold.
Okay.
I had multiple offers, and families love this neighborhood. The schools are highly ranked. You're close to everything, but you really get a lot for your money. And this is just a great neighborhood.
So with this home, I understand that it did not look how it looks right now. It's so pristine and white and beautiful and open. So what was it kind of like before you got these new owners into this house?
Yeah, it didn't start out this way. This was a trust sale. The owners did pass away, and I helped the family bring it up to a level that makes it sellable in today's market. With HGTV and all the flipping shows, buyers walk in, they really don't want to imagine what they need to do to make a home their own. So we don't make it perfect, but it's pretty close, and it really feels good when you walk in the door, and I think that's really important for sellers to know, that they need to take a little extra time and maybe put a little bit of money into their home to get top dollar.
And is that exactly the case here? If that work hadn't been put into this home, they might not have seen top dollar for this house?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's come a long way. This is actually one of the favorite ones that I've ever done with a client.
Yeah.
I bring my designer in on my dime as part of my listing package. We go room by room, make a list of things to do, and then I work together with my seller to see what makes the most sense to do or not do to get the top dollar, which is a little why I'm grubby today, because I've been doing another house today.
Hey, you're working hard out there,
Yeah.
Catrina.
Yeah, and it's what it takes in this market, I think.
So as far as your sellers, because I know springtime is also a really popular time to get a house ready to sell, what's the best things that they can do? Obviously we know about the renovations, but is there some other things to have your house ready for the buyer?
Yeah, landscaping, staging is crucial. Staging has become so imperative that I don't think sellers all really realize the importance of it. Even with their own belongings, it needs to feel staged.
Okay, so you usually bring your team then in to do the staging as well?
Even in an occupied home, I'll bring my team in to help decide how to rearrange furniture even. Sometimes it's as simple as that.
Okay, just get the little feng shui, change the energy into the place.
Yeah, turn it into what could be anybody's home, not the homeowner's home, because we're selling somebody their next home.
Exactly. And like you said, they can walk in and maybe have a nice vision for what this is because it already looks so nicely presented to them.
And they can visualize themselves here.
So I also want to ask you about kind of on the buyer side too, because this house sold in 4 days. So it's not a lot of time for a buyer to really have time to make a decision. And I assume they better have their ducks in a row by the time they actually see a property. So is there a little checklist this spring or that buyers really need to have in the forefront of their mind?
Well, I think the main checklist is be pre-approved, have your financing in order. Without it, you're dead in the water. So you could walk into a house that you fall in love with and you can't do anything about it because the good ones go fast and you need to be able to compete and step up to get them sometimes.
All right, and so usually that process for people, especially if they're first-time buyers, you know how long that might take them if they, have all their stuff together, they go to get pre-approved, and how long that takes?
It's very quick. If they provide their lender with the information and they're organized and give it to them in a quick manner, I would say in 72 hours they should be pre-approved.
Okay.
Ready to go. So it's not hard.
All right.
It's just not fun.
Sure. It's the work
It's not the fun of buying houses. Going and seeing them is fun, but you need to be ready.
So the buyer goes, they get pre-approved, they find out in 72 hours, and then they call you and they say, Catrina, we are ready for something. Can you show us a house? Mm-hmm. How quickly will that process be that they might find something that they love?
Well, it could be the first house they walk into, and it could be the 200th house they walk into. So it really depends on the person. And how motivated they are and how ready they are, and also how much they have an idea of what they want.
Yeah.
Sometime the beginning is learning what you want, and that you don't really know until you start looking.
So for this house in particular, do you think some things that might attract buyers to maybe take a little drive out to Rancho San Diego is maybe having the yard, like you said, this sits over a little bit of half an acre, so you've got the space, a lot of really great sunlight coming into these windows as well. I especially love that front room.
Yeah.
And then of course you have the pool and jacuzzi. Are these the types of things that attract people to their home?
Absolutely. I also think the fact that it's a single level. Single level is becoming more and more important in today's market because our home buyers are aging. So it's not just families moving in that are young. Older home buyers are downsizing, and the single level is huge, and people love ranch.
Okay.
And this is a ranch, so
it's very California,
popular.
I would think
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. And you said the schools are great around here.
Very good schools.
And as far as a community feel, I know you come from such a community place like Ocean Beach, but if somebody wanted that kind of feel in the country, could this type of community provide that for them?
Oh yeah, I think this Hidden Mesa Estates is a very tight-knit little community, it seems like. I've heard from many of the homeowners, and they're all very interested in what's going on in here. I don't think there is a lot of turnover in this neighborhood, and everybody seems very friendly, and they all seem to like each other.
Okay, great.
It's a neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of look out for each other.
Yeah.
Also for just sellers getting their homes ready, I know we talked a little bit about staging and just kind of moving furniture in a way that the energy flows really nicely. Are there some other things that maybe really would attract a buyer's eye that a seller can do? Something just as simple, maybe a little bit of paint?
Well, that's part of what I do with my designers. We go through and we pick and choose what a house needs, customize it to that property. But yeah, paint cures a lot of things.
Okay.
It cures a whole lot. And then the main thing is pricing right.
Okay.
So.
And you help them get the top dollar. Does that just come from your years of experience?
Yeah, it's based on comparable sales, but also what's going to make your home the most marketable. And I tell people the truth, what I believe to be the truth of the value of their home. So it's very important to price your home exactly right.
Okay, well, Catrina, obviously you're the woman to contact for all this great insight and information. So thank you so much for bringing us out here today.
Thanks for having me.